Thank you so much for joining. This is my first LA rendition of Theater Adult. Yes. A round of applause if you did theater as a child, as a kid, as a teenager. Okay. Round of applause if you wish you had and you didn't get the chance. Yes. You, sir, what's your name? Eric. So what happened? Did you were a kid and there were no opportunities?
I was a little too fat and ugly as a kid.
Oh, there's musicals for that, surely. I mean, Warbucks and Annie's, that guy. I guess that's it. There's not a lot. You're right. But wait, but what is that? What the director said to you? They said we don't have costumes that big.
I didn't even give it a try.
You didn't even give it a try. But you're a fan now?
Yeah.
What's your favorite musical?
A little too early, Wicked.
What was that, a little too early?
I'm a little late into the scene, sorry, I misspoke.
Wicked, sure. Yeah, I was worried you were self-conscious because that's like, the cliche answer everyone would give, but...
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Listen, normally my stand-up comedy can be a little bit mean. Tonight it's about being supportive, okay? Theater kids, we need more of us right now because, listen, there's a civil war brewing and theater kids are on one side of this thing. So I wanted a place that I could gather theater kids and I could talk to them. Who is anyone still doing theater in this audience? Yes. Where?
The Whitefire Theater. I'm a solo artist for 30 years.
You've been a solo artist. What's your act?
Well, I'm 5 shows.
You have what?
5 shows.
Okay, well, just try to pitch us on one. Jesus Christ, you're like, I got 5 nights. I got tickets for all of them right now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What? Tell me about one of them. What is it?
It's called Manning's Madhouse. It's in the LA Women's Theater Festival.
LA Women's Theater Festival. Okay, very cool. What's the log line? Give me the 1-sentence log line.
Growing up in a dysfunctional Irish Catholic family in the 60s.
Amazing. Listen, I know that's not wicked, okay? But like there's other things out there to explore. Some people grew up green, some people grew up Irish, and we all had our struggles. So let's see, the shows that I did, my favorite shows, I did How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I did On the Town. I did, yeah? Who said yeah? No, you don't have to apologize. Let me reiterate. This is the part where it's okay. That'd be a mean trap. Who's done that show? Me. Sorry. Where did you do it? When?
I didn't do it. I just love it.
Oh, you just love it. On the Town? That's a very old. You did that? Is that like your second of 5 shows? You're like, well, one is about a growing up Irish in the 60s, and the other's being a sailor in New York City and trying to get laid on your one day off. It's a very diverse act. Where did you do that?
In college.
You did it in college. Who did you play?
I played the reporter.
The reporter. Yeah. Do you remember your line?
Sir. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. That's good. Let's see, and then I did Little Shop of Horrors. That was one of my favorites to do. Round of applause if you have been in a production of Little Shop of Horrors. Okay, yeah? Who did you play? You were Audrey. Oh my God. When was this?
In high school.
You said you did Audrey not too long ago?
Yeah.
Would you happen to remember Suddenly Seymour?
I think most of them.
Do you? You played so you. Okay, I was about to volunteer myself, and then you're like, oh, I could do that role too. I'll take over the whole show. Would you come up here? Would you come up here? Can we get a round of applause?
Lift up your head, wash off your mascara. Here, take my Kleenex, wipe that lipstick away. Show me your face, as clean as the morning. I know things were bad, but here they're okay. standing beside you. You don't need no makeup. You don't have to pretend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide you sweet understanding. Seymour's your friend.
Nobody ever treated me kindly. Daddy left early. Mama was poor. I'd meet a man and I'd follow him blindly. He'd snap his fingers. Me, I'd say sure. Suddenly Seymour standing beside me. He don't give me orders. He don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me sweet understanding. Seymour's my friend.
Tell me this feeling lasts till forever. Tell me the bad times are clean washed away.
Please understand that it's still strange and frightening. With losers like I've been, it's so hard to say. Suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour, he purified you.
Suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour. Yes, you can. The girl that's inside you with sweet understanding. With sweet understanding. With sweet understanding. With sweet understanding. Seymour's your man. Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, I got it all. Thank you, thank you. One more time. Holy shit. I'm worried we set the bar too high. You said it was, how long ago was that? I feel like it was like last night and this was like a prank. And now we try to sell tickets to the show. Oh my God, that was wonderful. You did great. For a second I thought like I brought you up here and then I said, oh no, do they need an intimacy coordinator? And then I said, no, I think we're okay for this duo. I think we're fine. Oh, okay. So a wicked boy. What's your name again? Eric. So had you heard that song before?
In passing.
In passing. Where are you passing that you're like? Are you here with anyone?
My good friend Taz.
What's your name?
Taz.
Taz. Like Wizard of. You're like, and this is my friend Belphegor. So yeah, I basically, I started in theater. I went to college for musical theater. When it's weird, like there's like people who go to, they're Catholic and then they go to Catholic school and that's when they stop believing in God. That's what going to college for musical theater is like. But then as I get older, as people become religious, they get older. For me, I became more musical theater again. And I just wanted to create a place, not just for myself, but there's so many comedians and so many artists that I admire out there that started out as theater kids, because when you're younger, kind of those are the two options. There's no stand-up comedy middle schools. Not yet. So I wanted to create a place that I could bring people and talk about those days where before we knew just how many talented people there were in the world, and we were convinced maybe we were the most. And yeah, you remember those days? Yeah. I
I mean, now I feel like I'm not even the most talented person in this fucking room right now. Jesus Christ almighty. But I'm so excited for our guest. Here to start this off by with a song from Avenue Q. Please welcome to the stage Joel Kim Booster, everybody. Make some noise.
Hi, my name is Joel Kim Booster. I'm a sophomore BFA musical theater major, and I'll be singing a song from Avenue Q and doing a monologue from Night Mother. Purpose, it's that little flame that lights a fire under your ass. Purpose, it keeps you going strong like a car with a full tank of gas. Everyone else has a purpose, so what's mine? Oh look, it's a penny. It's from 1998, the year I was born. It's a sign. Ba-ba-ba-ba, do-do-do-do-do. I don't know how I know, but I'm gonna find my purpose. I don't know where I'm gonna look, but I'm gonna find my purpose. Where will it be? What will it be? My purpose in life is a mystery. Gotta find my purpose. Gotta find me.
Joel Kim Booster, everybody. Make some noise.
So stupid.
So Joel, that was your go-to audition
So
song?
yeah, so that was my audition song starting in college. That was roughly 16 bars, and I sang it no less than 16 times for the entirety of my theater school experience because I refused to learn a different song. And
Sure.
I'm not a great singer. This really obscures how limited a range a person can have.
Sure.
You know, like I sounded amazing, but I literally just smoked a cigarette. So it is not challenging by any means. And we literally realized when we were doing rehearsals for this that I can't do, the reason we did the audition cut of that song is because I can't do the rest. It's tough. But yeah, no, and this is the first time that I have sung in front of an audience in 15 years. Yeah. Outside of karaoke, I have not done this.
Sure.
Since probably 2011.
Well, we were talking. I feel like we're both falling a little back in love because I saw. So this is the show. It's a bigger show. It's not like as someone on a podcast. I'm like, hey, do you wanna sing with me maybe in front of people? And I saw that you were doing this. I didn't know if you had done theater, but you were doing a concert of Little Shop of Horrors.
Thank you, by the way, for bringing those people up before I had to sing. Literally, fuck you.
Listen, it was that or watch him do the chorus line dance, and I was like, I don't want to put him through that. Or a monologue from the 60s about being Irish, and I was just like, no, but I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Because when I started stand-up, there certainly was a wave of actors who became stand-ups.
Weaponizing their BFAs.
Yes. And it was like,
is the parlance.
we didn't have jokes, but we had movements.
Yeah.
And we had like emphasis. And people did not like it.
My theory about this is that I do think that especially like, I've been doing stand-up for almost 15 years now, and when you see people who are starting out, they are either good at being on stage but bad at writing jokes, or really good at writing jokes and really bad at being on stage. And I think it is easier to fake the joke writing at the start, if you're very charismatic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because there are so many people whose good jokes get lost because they just can't be on stage.
Sure.
And so we had a head start, I think, in that regard.
Yeah.
And then I didn't learn how to write a joke for like 3 years. But
I did the roast battles, and like I think roast battles forced me. The theatrics did not play with the other comedians.
Oh no! In fact, I think that would be to your detriment.
Yes. And as a theater kid, there were a lot of jokes to make about me.
Yeah.
The meanest one I got. I was in CBS's Blue Bloods. I played reporter number 2.
Woo!
And my line was, "Ma'am." But someone said the roast joke was Gianmarco got cast in CBS's Blue Bloods because they needed someone to make Donnie Wahlberg look like a good actor. And I felt the tears in my eyes.
That's rough.
I could have quit comedy. I could have gotten enough of those. I probably would have quit.
You know, I never did a roast battle when they were really big because my thing with roast battles has always been I know what the jokes will be. I've been hearing them since I was 13. I grew up in this body. I'm Asian and I'm gay. And that's one thing is that I was like, I'm going to be so bored by the jokes. But the worst thing would be to find out what the thing about me is that people talk about that I don't know is annoying.
Yeah.
I was talking to Mike Lawrence, who's an incredible comedian and incredible roaster, and I was mentioning this. I was like, I don't want to find out what the thing is that is annoying about me that everybody talks about. And he was like, oh, you mean how you write all those really earnest Facebook posts that are super long? And I was like, I told you I don't want to know!
So you did go through a phase of auditioning for musical theater.
Yes.
Were you someone who did you win it in the room? How do you come in a room? Are you confident? Are you?
I'm not a great auditioner, I will say.
Really?
No. I'm not a great auditioner. I get super nervous, especially singing. Like this was a huge hurdle for me to agree to do this show and then to do it because it is not. I don't like doing things that I'm not great at doing.
Sure.
And singing is not something that I consider I'm great at doing, and so I'm passable. But it is like. This made me very nervous, especially knowing that there are freaks like the people you brought on stage in the audience. Like that, it really ratcheted up.
Next time I do the show, I'll be like, who hasn't sung in 15 years and wants to give it one more go?
I was literally like, I heard them sing Suddenly Seymour, and then I was like, well, fuck it, I guess I'm just gonna smoke the cigarette. I was like saving it. I was like, all day I was like, I'm not gonna smoke. I'm not gonna smoke. And then I was like, I heard them, and I was like, to what end?
So for your audition, that was your go-to song.
That was my go-to song starting in college. In high school and before, the auditions were very like bobo in that like usually you were auditioning from you choose a song from the show you were auditioning for.
Of course,
Yeah.
yes.
So I didn't go to a super advanced like theater program high school. Like it was very much like we're doing Bye Bye Birdie, you're gonna sing a song from Bye Bye Birdie.
Of course.
Yeah. I was
Man,
Mr. McAfee. And I will say this was a core.
Did you see this production of Joel and?
Really, truly, I would love to know. This is a canon event for me though because. First of all, being Mr. McAfee and Bye Bye Birdie really made some of the World War II jokes hit a little different. Coming from me.
What were the jokes? Do you remember what you
There were just
talked
like
about?
jokes where he talks about remembering the war, and it confused the audience. They were like, but which side? But I will never forget. And this was again like during a time where I was just like learning how to sing. Like and Mr. McAfee is a great part for that because you can sort of like character your way through the songs. Yeah. And I remember I got a standing ovation after Kids the first time I sang it in front of a crowd, and that was truly like the moment where I was like, oh, I want that for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah.
And so so it was.
You didn't. We didn't program that song for tonight. Do you know how it goes?
It's a lot of kids. Like that's all I really remember.
She's losing it. She's gonna fuck it.
Yeah, she loves it.
You played
you were
what?
Mrs. McAfee and Bye Bye Birdie. Get up here. Let's do Ed Sullivan, bitch. Okay. No. I could barely do it then. I don't think I can do it now.
So there's a married couple in that. I'm not super familiar with by
Yeah, it's a married couple, and they have a young daughter who's in love with like an Elvis type who's going to war.
Okay, that's
And,
I see. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
What about? Did you ever go to monologue?
In high school, you didn't even do the acting part until the callbacks.
What about college auditions?
So college auditions, that was a different story. That got very serious. I went to, let's see if, this is a theater nerd crowd, so some of you might know. I went to Millikan University in Decatur, Illinois. Okay. Yeah. What's that?
I had friends go there.
Cool. Who? What year did you graduate?
Well, I graduated 2020.
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe you knew their parents.
I think I missed them. Yeah. I think I missed them by a smidge. But no, that's where I really learned how to audition for real, because I went to school for musical theater.
Which at
Millikan
school?
University. And
that's what they say. It's NYU, Juilliard,
and
Millikan University.
No, so Millikan actually has a really, really great theater program. The joke is that within like a 5-block radius of Broadway and Times Square, like they know that school, because like Sierra Boggess went to my school.
Yes.
The original voice of The Little Mermaid went to my school.
Wait, both the original voice
Yeah.
and who played
We
her
got
on Broadway?
The market cornered on mermaids.
There's a whole class of just like fin
Yeah.
flipping.
The sister from Severance went to my school. Yeah, and then me. And there's a lot of working. There are a lot of people that are working from my class. But
So you respect them. Like if they like my school, which I was not a fan of, and I have a lot of bitter feelings towards, if they ever include me in things, I tell them to take it out.
really,
They don't get it. They don't get the credit. They didn't check in once after I graduated. They don't get to check in when there's some success. That's my feeling.
I will say it's hard for me now when I talk to kids who want to go to theater school, because my immediate response now, I took out like 6 figures in loans to go to theater school, to a school that most of you have never heard of. Like I didn't get into Yale. There was no reason, but I was like living in my car when I was 17. So like that, and this was a time when we weren't talking about predatory student loans, and every adult in my life was like, just take out as many private student loans as you possibly want. And that was really detrimental. And I remember I sat down my senior year with the financial advisor, and she looked at my debt and looked at my major and said, "What were you thinking?" Nancy Askins, "What was I thinking now, bitch?"
You
But no, I got really
said to her,
lucky.
you're like, kids.
Yeah. But no, when I look at kids now who are like high school students who are like, should I go to theater school? Should I go to your theater school? Should I go to theater school at all? And my answer is always like, if your parents can pay for it, then by God, go. I had a ton of fun. I learned a lot. But do not put yourself in debt to go to a no-name theater school, or pretty much any theater school. Move to New York and take a fucking class.
Yeah.
I don't think that like right now in this climate is the time to like send kids into debt to get a BFA in theater.
I say if you want to be on Broadway, start that TikTok account right fucking now, because
Yeah,
that's how we're doing it these days.
I mean, I
Jeff
think-
Bezos went on Twitter and said, "Who should be the next Bond?" That's how casting works now.
The clearest path to Broadway is winning the Jimmy Awards. So I think really nothing. No
Okay.
Jimmy fans.
Wait, all right. I want to get to the Jimmy Awards very badly, but let's start. Let's go back. Let's go back to what kind of kid were you? Tell me about your childhood. Where were you born?
I was born in Korea, adopted very young, was adopted and grew up in a town right outside of Chicago, southwest suburbs of Chicago, Plainfield, Illinois. Heard of it? Yeah. I was homeschooled until I was a junior in high school, so not a lot of.
So what was the theater program like at your homeschool? A lot of
It
dinner
was
table performances?
All me, all the time. No,
Can you imagine you go to the casting list, you didn't get a part, and you're like, what the fuck?
No, but I did a lot of plays. I did American Girl doll plays when I was in middle school.
Where
I started
were you doing
that.
these?
In Chicago. I was like the token boy in many American Girl doll plays. Again, for many of the time periods, very confusing for the audience. What was I doing in pioneer times? I don't know, Like we were doing Hamilton before Hamilton was doing Hamilton. But
Wait, can you describe to me what? So where is this? This is a small theater for.
Yeah.
Is it for kids?
Yeah, in Chicago they do like American Girl doll plays, and it's like family children's theater, and they cast real kids in them.
And your parents they wanted to homeschool you, but they were fine with you participating like
Yeah.
in these things.
Yeah. I think my sister wasn't homeschooled. She was in high school, and I remember the first piece of theater I ever saw was when she was getting ready to go to the high school, we went and saw their production of Oklahoma. And I was probably, she would have 14, so I would have been 6. And that is when I fell in love. And I was like, I want to do that. And from that point on, I begged my parents to send me to school
So you
because I
saw her
wanted
perform.
to do theater.
You
Yeah.
just saw her.
I didn't know she wasn't in we were just going to see like what the theater program had to offer. And
Yeah.
we went and it was Oklahoma, and I remember seeing it and then asking every kid in the cast afterwards for an autograph. Yeah, so I made it about me at the end of the day, which is
Now tell me,
classic.
because you've made the joke now, but you know, a lot of the musical theater canon. I mean, certainly now post Hamilton, it feels like there's been more, at least at the professional level, where race is, you know, they'll change it in a way that would maybe of the time would not be
Sure.
that thing.
Yeah.
You can hear me bumbling over my words as I try to talk like some kind of like work for a company, and it's just me. Do you remember ever looking at shows and going like, oh, there's not as many roles that I could play?
Not in high school.
Not in high
because
school.
there just weren't enough boys.
Of course, that is the one of the,
Yeah,
the
it was
boy
like,
benefits.
it was amazing how terrible so many of them were. And it didn't matter; they were cast anyways. But yeah, no, I specifically forced my parents to let me go to public school because I wanted to do theater.
And was that tough? Why were you homeschooled? Was there a particular
Religion? It was. They're very religious. They did not want me learning about sex or evolution. Yeah. And
Did
so,
you ever sing at church? Did you
Yes,
ever perform?
I performed constantly at church. I did there was a program, an interchurch program nationally called Word of Life. I don't know if anyone's experienced the same religious trauma.
No
as
woos
me.
for that one, huh?
But it was basically forensics, but for church, and it included singing categories, it including acting categories, it including preaching, and girls couldn't do preaching, but they could do storytelling, which is pretty cool.
So you would do this on Sundays, or
We would
this
no.
school?
It was basically on the weekends you would do regionals, you would do state, you would do nationals, and this is where I famously am a nationally ranked Bible quizzer twice over. From the
What
Word
is-
of Life division.
I can
I actually
quiz-
was in 2 different Bible quiz teams. I was at one Bible quiz team at a different neighboring church, and then I was at on my Bible quiz team. I was a ringer, and then I was on my Bible quiz team, and it was a slightly different.
I was trying to think of some Bible trivia. You could answer any question.
I don't know about any question, but a lot of it still lives up there. No matter how many drugs I do, it will not leave.
Can you tell me, you know how it's so-and-so begat so-and-so? Can you tell me the first 5?
I mean, it's Adam, Cain, Abel, Saul.
I'm not going to correct you.
Yeah, he's up there. No, I mean, the thing is the emphasis as an evangelical Christian was not in the Old Testament. It was mostly in the New Testament.
Oh, sure.
So we covered the Old Testament.
Yeah, forgive me. I was asking
But-
the Jewy questions.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, none of that Jew shit. But it was mostly focused on the New Testament. In one of the Bible quiz leagues I was in, I had to memorize. There was a point in my life when I had the first 11 chapters of Acts memorized by heart, and the first 8 chapters of John memorized by heart.
Do you remember a couple lines?
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. But no, I can't. If you got me started a little bit, I think on Seth Meyers famously, I got 7 verses in. before
7
I forgot.
verses?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's muscle memory. Yeah.
Do you like the biblical musicals? Do you like the Jesus Christ Superstars?
No, I don't love Joseph or Jesus Christ Superstar or any of that. I'm not a big Andrew Lloyd Webber stan. I know.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Nicole notwithstanding, but yeah, not a huge fan of his work.
I get that. Okay. I think mixed, but some people are on your side here.
Yeah.
I'm on your side too. I'm not into cats.
Yeah. Not for me.
So, okay. So, you beg your parents to go to school. How do you convince them?
I basically was like, both my parents worked at this point, so no one was doing it. School. And I basically was like, I think this is illegal. And I worked at a Cold Stone Creamery at the time, where all of the theater kids at my local high school worked. It was truly the Underground Railroad for gay teens. And I met all these kids from there, and they like really were like pushing me. They're like, we need you for the program. And I like went back to my parents, and after truly
Wait, because they knew from the singing, you sing when it's someone's birthday?
When they tip you, you sing a parody ice cream themed song, and we would make up our own. Like the stone that Cold Stone uses is called the Gia. Okay, and so one of our famous parody songs was "From the Gia to the Stone." Yeah, let all that ice cream melt, or something. I don't know. It was tough.
So they heard that and they said, "We got to get you in the program right now."
Yeah. Actually, that job was the first time I ever had to sing for an audition.
What did you sing for that one? Not
Happy
Purpose.
fucking birthday.
Yeah, that's the classic no theater audition song. Happy birthday.
But yeah, no, and so they did end up sending me finally my junior year of high school.
And they when you auditioned, was it like, oh, they saw it, they felt it?
My dad saw a couple of the shows. My mom has never seen me perform live, ever.
Never.
Never. Not
How
once.
does it feel? Are you over
I
it?
don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit?
In fact, my mom taught me a lot of really important lessons about taking care of yourself and doing the things you want to do, not the things that other people want you to do, including your children.
Sure. That's what I tell people when I don't go to their things. I'm teaching you a lesson about self-care.
No, yeah. The only thing my mom has ever seen me do is Celebrity Jeopardy. That is the only thing she's ever seen me do on television or live.
Now, do you think it's a religion thing? Do you think it's just weird about seing someone you
I think it's
care
a
about
little
perform?
like she didn't want to encourage me too much, and she didn't think I was that good. I mean, she was pretty honest with me growing up a lot. Like, I would show her like little pieces of like little short stories I would write, and she'd be like, "I don't know if this is for you."
That's brutal when you're homeschooled too.
And my mom loves me, and I love my mom. Let's be clear about this. She was just a hard-ass woman, and like she was real, and she was like, "This is not gonna get you a house."
That's my mom is similar. Like if I ever make the mistake of like, hey, I thought of this. Is this a funny joke? She goes, not your best.
Yeah.
And I go, well, I can only have one. That can't be the whole act.
I remember I wrote like an Alice in Wonderland adaptation, like the start of what was going to be like my sweeping epic, and I was like, "Will you read like the first like couple chapters?" And she read it, and she was like, "Yeah, maybe I need to read like the full thing to get it." That was the feedback.
Wait, do you remember when you were younger though? Like, listen, I'm here with you. Where like, if my dad hasn't seen me in a while, and that's totally fine. I think like the time has passed of it meaning something.
Right.
Every once in a while, he'll give a "I'm proud of you," and it's connected to nothing. He doesn't know what he's proud of anymore. But there's a feeling of like there's something in I go, oh, my father.
I'm very grateful, actually, that I let go of needing that kind of attention and that kind of thing from my parents a long time ago. Like, I'm getting married, my mom's not coming to the wedding, and like that.
Why are you singing at it too?
But no, and the thing is like I let go of that like decades ago. Like I never, like it does not affect me. People get sad when I tell them that, and it's like, no, I know my mom loves me, and I love my mom, but that's just not. You find the support elsewhere, and I found the support elsewhere, and my parents. I learned very early that my parents could not be everything to me, and a lot of people I know have never learned that lesson and are still struggling with it. to this day as adults because they are needing something from their parents that your parents are not equipped to give you.
I gotta tell you picked the perfect audience to tell that lesson to. Okay, so now walk me through high school shows. What do we got here?
I was Tommy Gillis in The Music Man. I was Mr. McAfee in Bye Bye Birdie. I was, and then the only other musical I did in high school. Oh no, I was the understudy for the redneck in Footloose, and
They had an understudy for the redneck?
they did. It should have been me, but again, they thought it would confuse the community. And then I did, and then I was Seymour, senior year
You were Seymour.
of high school. I was Seymour. And fun fact, Shea Coulee was my Audrey too. We grade below me. Yeah. Which is why that stage reading was gonna happen, but nature had other plans.
Tell me about your production of Little Shop, because I did Little Shop junior year, and it's my favorite show.
So this was not at my high school. This was at a community theater called Only a Stage, run by an incredible woman named Margot Krug, R.I.P., rest in peace. She was an amazing theater teacher, and she really, it was something you had to pay for. It was like a program you had to pay for, but she let me work in order to take classes there, but you still couldn't, you had to pay to be in the productions too, and I couldn't afford that. I could only afford to work for the classes. And then one day during a rehearsal of Crazy for You, she saw me off on the side pretending to sweep the floor, but learning the choreography. And she just said, "Joel, get up there." And started putting me in the productions, even though I couldn't pay. And I was Wyatt in Crazy for You.
And
as
then
well.
you played Seymour, who famously has to sweep a broken potted plant.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and,
so nice.
That was the last musical that theater did.
That would be like if you
because-
saw someone like hitting their girlfriend and you said, "One day you should be the dentist in Little Shop of Horrors."
But no, that was the last show that theater ever did because she couldn't afford to keep it open, probably because she was letting kids like me do it for free. But she hired this gay guy to direct it, who was like an alum of the program, and he quit a week and a half before we opened.
Why did he quit?
Because she couldn't pay him. And so he punished us. And then we decided to just keep doing it anyways, and it was like a community effort. Like other alums came back who and like
Helped
sort of
direct it and put it
direct it and put it together and like
That's such a
figured it out.
beautiful-
It was like a community effort, yeah. And and so that was the last time I was like the lead in a musical. Was that?
Is there any song from that you'd care to sing?
Well, it's funny because Seymour doesn't really have a lot of amazing solos, and vocally the showcase has already been done from the show. But on the very first date with my now fiance in San Francisco, we went to a piano bar called Martuni's, which if you've ever been to like New York, it's like the Duplex. It's like any piano bar where you can go up and you can like be like, "I want to sing this song," and the piano player, if they know it, will let you sing it. And on our very first date, I guess I lied when I said I hadn't sung in front of people in 15 years, because this was the last time I sang in front of a room full of strangers. Was on our first date. I sang this song that I'm about to sing from Little Shop of Horrors.
All right,
And,
go for it.
I know Seymour's the greatest, but I'm dating a semi-sadist. So I have a black eye and my arms in a cast. Still, that Seymour's a cutie. Well, if not, he's got inner beauty. And I dream of a place where we could be together at last. A matchbox of our own, a fence of real chain link, a grill out on the patio, disposal in the sink, a washer and a dryer, and an ironing machine, in a tract house that we share, somewhere that's green. He trims the grass. He loves to mow and weed. I cook like Betty Crocker, and I look like Donna Reed. There's plastic on the furniture to keep it neat and clean. In a pine saw scented air, somewhere that's green. Between our frozen dinner and our bedtime 9:15, we snuggle watching Lucy on our big, enormous 12-inch screen. I'm his December bride. He's father, he knows best. Our kids watch Howdy Doody as the sun sets in the west. A picture out of Better Homes and Gardens magazine. Far from Skid Row, I dream we'll go somewhere that's green. It's better rehearsal.
Joe Booster, everyone. And let's give it up for the tech for some green lights in the back. We had no tech rehearsal, and they're killing it.
And hey, that was the first date, and now I'm engaged, bitch. So
Wow.
couldn't have been that bad.
That's for a first date. That is very romantic.
Very drunk. Yeah. He sang Bridges of Madison County, though, so kind of flexed on me a little bit there.
So you had. Well, first let me ask you: did you have any along the way? This is just me. I wanted to tell my story. When I did Little Shop of Horrors, they did a prank on me on the last night. Seymour feeds body parts to the plant. And it's out of a bucket, and they're all bloody and whatever. And so for the last show, I went to get my bucket, and the only body parts were all dildos. And I fed that plant 12 dentist dicks. And I was like, that's why Audrey stayed with him, I guess. But you soft motherfucker. And that was the best show prank I think I ever had.
I don't know if we ever did a show pranks. There was at Only a Stage, we did Les Mis, and I wasn't in it that one, but who gets slapped? Which one? Eponine? Eponine gets slapped? Or what's the other female character? Fontaine. Does Fontaine get slapped? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So our Fontaine got slapped, and we were in high school, so they're like, let's do it real. Let's do it live. And so he slaps her, and her tooth goes flying across the stage.
So you have all these musical these great moments. What happened?
No, I think so. What happened was so I went to school for musical theater. I did my freshman year, and then I auditioned, and I got my first professional acting gig was at the McLeod Summer Playhouse. It was a summer stock theater where I did 68 performances of Thoroughly Modern Millie as Bun Fu, one of the offensive Asian characters in Thoroughly Modern Millie, which I was told constantly was the point.
Okay, so let's, for people who don't know, so first summer stock, as I believe it help describe
Summer
what it
stock is like a professional theater that only runs during the summer, and it mostly employs theater students.
And it's super fast paced, intense rehearsals.
Intense. Yeah. And like, some of the higher end summer stock theaters will employ equity actors. I worked at Little's Theater on the Square, which is one of the biggest equity summer stock theaters in the country.
Okay.
I was assistant directing though, and I was not singing. I was not good enough to do that. But I did this production of Thoroughly Modern Millie, and I realized while doing it that I did not like it enough to do it. I
Why?
was also,
What happened?
Because I wasn't good enough.
Sure.
This is the realization that I had, especially being surrounded by a lot of other really talented musical theater people, was that like I'm physically dyslexic. I cannot pick up on choreo very well, which is a real thing. I don't know left
There was a
and right.
production of a chorus line that you would have been
Yeah,
great.
yeah. But like I struggle. I have no innate sense of left and right. I still do this when I drive, and it's so like choreography is very difficult for me. I'm, as you've seen, like I'm an okay singer, but not like my entire career as a comedian, actor, and writer has just been one big long con to get stunt cast in a Broadway musical.
Sure.
Because if I'm famous enough, then no one will care that I can't sing. You know,
That-
and
I
like
s-
all of the live musicals that they do, a lot of the Hollywood Bowl musicals that they do. they're
There's
casting
someone I
people
want to
that can't
say so
sing.
bad, but he's still working and I can't say it. I
Bleep
know.
it.
No,
Bleep
I
it.
can't.
Oh, really? I don't agree.
Oh, wait,
I saw
he got the words. That's good.
Yeah, I saw that awful production, but I did think he was a good bright spot in it.
I saw now listen, I was young enough. I didn't mind Christina Applegate in Sweet Charity, but some people did. But as we were leaving, I was just there for the autographs. I always did the autographs. And this guy from the back said, "Learn how to sing, la 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 la." And the worst part was he sounded better than her in the show.
You know, another good example, Chicago is constantly doing this. Like, don't let anybody be Roxy Hart.
Well, I
They
read
will
a
let
whole article about it,
anybody.
but that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be Roxy. No, I would be the lawyer, and they
Yeah.
basically they've made it like a machine, and they change whatever you can't
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
and that does seem kind of fun.
I could do Mr. Cellophane.
Sure, you'd be a great Mr.
But
Cellophane.
would it be confusing to the community? That's my only question.
That Thoroughly Modern Millie, I don't know that show that well, but those roles are like you can't put on that show anymore, right?
I don't know. Like the thing is it's like a take on racist caricatures in movies of that kind from the 60s.
I see the old take of
Yeah, so it's like I'm doing blackface, but like as a comment on blackface, you know. That's sort of what
Sure,
the whole
sure.
vibe of it is. It's a shame because there's some amazing songs from it, and high schools are still doing it. If you watch the Jimmy Awards, you know. There's a million.
So tell me, because
there
the Jimmy
really
Awards,
is.
I learned about them more recently. This is like the high school.
This is the National High School Musical Theater Association Awards in New York. Everybody who wins their like state championship, like Tony, basically, girl boy, gets to go to New York for a week, have gay sex for the first time in an NYU dorm, and they compete, and then it's fascinating. It's all on YouTube. I have paid to see it live at a Broadway theater. I was there the night Andrew Barr Feldman and Renee Rapp won.
Oh my God! Could you tell in the room where you're like, that's a star up there?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
I was like, put him in, you know, it was crazy. And then they invited me to the after party, and I was like, that's a bridge too far. I could get arrested for going there.
Sure.
But like I bet on the Jimmys like it's a fucking like Super Bowl.
I mean, we could try to convince, what's that company called? What's the gambling site? FanDuel. Thank you. The one guy in the back.
FanDuel.
I would love if we could get FanDuel to get into the Tony Awards.
Yeah.
Or the Jimmy Awards.
The Jimmy Awards is huge.
Who hosts? Could you ever host it?
Now, I actually think I could probably wiggle my way in there and host it because I need like one more big credit and possibly like, you know, had I done the fucking Little Shop stage reading, it might have helped.
Well, you said it was the first time for many of them having gay sex. Was theater any romances along the way?
Yes, my first boyfriend was Conrad. No,
Wait.
not Conrad. He was who's the
Whose parents did you play?
I played Kim's parents.
Okay,
Kim,
thank
actually.
God. I
Yeah,
thought.
No,
Can
no,
you
no.
imagine if you're playing, you're like, there's something here. And
Yeah, that happens all the fucking time.
I know. That's what happened with Dexter. Remember Dexter and
Yeah,
his sister
his
started
sister.
dating, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh no.
No, I remember sitting at the sits pro. We did our sits probes in complete pitch dark in order to fondle each other, I guess. I don't know, but that's what we did. We were sitting on the lip of the stage in complete blackness, and I like reached over and put my hand on his thigh, and then we dated for a couple of months.
When you reached over, did you say, kids?
Yeah. He wouldn't let me go down on him, and then one time he was like always like, no, we're never gonna go that far. And then one time he put on his 8th grade production of Music Man, where he played Harold Hill. And in the middle of making me watch him play Harold Hill in the 8th grade, he was like, you can go down on me now.
As someone who played Harold Hill in 8th grade, a new fantasy has been unlocked.
Yeah.
To watch myself play Harold Hill while getting my first blowjob from Joel Kim Booster.
Pretty huge.
And you let it. What song was it? Was it 76 trombones? I
No,
guess.
it was like Gabby Indiana, Gabby Indiana.
Oh no!
I don't remember what fucking song it was, but
Hey, it's a romantic music. Look at Hugh Jackman.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
they're
things
still
can happen.
together.
Things can
They're still
happen, yeah.
together.
But no, after Thoroughly Modern Millie, I got back to school and I immediately changed my major to playwriting and dramaturgy.
Well, I will say that's one of my critiques of going to college for musical theater at like a small community. I think if you're going to do it and you participate in the professional world, you start to see kind of, oh, here's where I rank in the world. But for me, I thought like the singing was on point, and then I went to a non-equity Phantom of the Opera ensemble call that they were not going to cast anyone from this. It's just equity required them to do this every month. And you sang 8 bars and you could hear the singers while you were waiting. And I proceeded to hear 100 like breathtaking singers. And at least I realized where I ranked in that one skill. Yep. But I didn't realize that until summer after junior year of college after spending $150,000.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about going to college for theater that I have a problem with. I think I'm trying, the TED Talk people, they said they might want to do a TED Talk, and I want it to be don't go to college for the arts. And I'm thinking about dedicating my life to talking kids out of it.
I learned, this is my thing about acting specifically, is I do think that everybody in my class who came, who was good, got a little bit better, and everyone who came who was bad never got good. I don't think it's something that you can really teach.
Really?
I think it's a scam for a lot of people. I think they know that they're never gonna, that half these kids are never gonna work, but they're gonna, especially the private schools, are gonna take their money anyway.
And I will say that the college audition system, sorry, this is the serious part of the show. The college audition system, you are seeing someone do sometimes 2 16 bars and a monologue, and you are deciding the next 4 years of their life based off that. And when you start to learn sometimes which faculty members got saddled with the role of seeing the incoming freshman auditions, they're not sending their best. And it's was that a Trump quote that I just said? Well, let me tell you, they're not. Some of them are rapists. It's true, but. In this instance, in this one specific instance I have in my head of this teacher, yes, and he was tenured. What are you gonna do?
Oh, Roger Smart. Yeah. Roger Smart. We had one too. He promised 4 different girls Juliet, and then
Wait, 4 different girls? What?
Juliet.
In Romeo and Juliet?
In Romeo and Juliet.
Oh my God!
While we were studying abroad, he took them each out to coffee and said, "When we get back, you're Juliet." And then he cast a freshman. Yeah.
That's one of the things that they do. The reason I went to the University of Miami, which I don't no. Did you go? I'm from Miami. You're from Miami. Okay, well that's like.
This is different. Isn't it?
That's like someone brought up 9/11 and you're like, from New York, yeah. It's like, yeah, it happened there. That's not one of the selling points. I had a teacher, and it was the audition, and he did one of those. He's like, I want you. to be the next leading man at this school. And when you're young and vulnerable, someone a little bit older than you who says that to you, oh my God, you'll go with them anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I learned a lot. It's a great stopgap between real adulthood. Like, I learned a lot about becoming an adult. I learned a lot about myself at school. It's a great, like, safe place to do a lot of those things. And I, fucked around a lot and drank a lot and partied a lot and, like, fed my vomit to raccoons that lived in my attic. And
how did you feed them? How did you get it up there?
I lived in the attic, and it was a half-finished attic and a door that led to the unfinished part of the attic. And one night I couldn't get to the bathroom, so I opened the door to the unfinished part of the attic, puked in there, and then the next morning it was gone. And I knew it was the raccoons, and so for the rest of college we called that room the cafeteria. And boy, have I never felt more like fucking Cinderella in my goddamn life. That these woodland creatures gathering together to take care of me. It was amazing. I don't know what happened to them, but
okay, so tell me, so now you're a wonderfully successful stand-up comedian, a writer. Joel just hosted the WGA Awards. In a very bold outfit, goddamn, no shirt.
3 bold outfits, I'll have you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. 3 costume changes, because why the fuck not stunt on these fucking nerds,
Hosting the Tony Awards, would that be a dream?
I don't think they'd ever let me, but I would.
I don't like that. Listen, Cynthia Erivo's great. It's more, I'm against non-comedians hosting award shows. It's never that good. Sometimes comedians, listen, I think Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are some of the top presenters of our time, but thank you. And no one else, a bunch of misogynists. You're like Ricky Gervais for me. But I just don't, when you have someone earnest, I just want a comedian. I want someone to take the piss delicately in a way that's still fun.
We all remember Did the Thing,
Yeah.
It can go really wrong for really talented people.
You know who was a great host of the Tony Awards? Kevin Spacey. It was like 1 year before everything, and he did make a joke within the thing about he came out of the closet at one point and made a joke. I'm coming out of the closet. I'm like, careful, you're going to use that card in a year for a much different thing. This sensitive crowd. I just remember he hosted them.
Well, I don't know if it's so much as they were sensitive as you just told a weird story.
Nah. Cancel culture's gone too far, and it's too sensitive, this group of people. Okay, so best show you've ever seen?
Best show I've ever seen is probably still a production of Much Ado About Nothing at Chicago Shakes that I saw when I was in high school that made me want to be a classically trained Shakespearean actor.
Okay, so you love Shakespeare.
I love Shakespeare. I studied at the Globe for 6 months in college and was very convinced that that's what I was going to do.
Dream Shakespeare role?
Iago.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to see Jake Gyllenhaal do it on Broadway?
No, because I think it would confuse the community. Seeing Jake Gyllenhaal on Movie Star.
Isn't Iago supposed to be jealous of Othello? Like, isn't that part of the thing? Jake, listen, I cannot stand fucking gorgeous people playing these roles. Hugh Jackman as the Music Man, Jake Gyllenhaal as Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors. Get the fuck out of here. He wouldn't have to feed the plan. He just could be like, look at my face. And Audrey would be like, I'll fuck you.
It is a little weird that I was like, I want to play Iago, and you were like, great. And then you were like, enough with these beautiful people playing Iago. Huh. Did anyone else catch that?
What Shakespeare? Come on, you remember. Moving on. You must remember a Shakespeare something or another.
I am my lord as well possessed as he is well, blah, blah, blah.
Come on, give me a Shakespeare.
I played Lysander twice, but I can't. Does anyone else remember the rest of that monologue? I am the Lord. Yeah. No,
I'll go first. Who does anyone know? I did this once at a show. Does anyone know To Be or Not to Be? I do.
Haven't they seen you perform enough tonight?
To be. Okay, so Iago's a dream role. What was the last Shakespeare show you did? Did you do one at the Globe?
We have a picture of it, actually.
Oh my God, we forgot the pictures. Show us the picture of you at the costume shop of the Shakespeare, the one with the big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we can't.
Great, here we go.
So this is me in the costume shop at the Globe, and I was just having fun, living in a different time when, if Colin Farrell can be in a fat suit, so can I. That was not a character. That was just me in the costume shop at the Globe. But yeah, no. And then the one...
Now, if you wore that, I'd say you'd be a great Iago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is actually, believe it or not, a production of The Tempest that was set in a call center.
Wow.
And that's the kind of weird shit you get to do when you do storefront theater in Chicago.
Let's see your Little Shop pictures. I love the Little Shop.
And all white ronettes. That's great.
Now, is this the plant where you have a fake hand here and your real hand is in here?
Fisting Audrey 2 the whole time.
Yes.
Puppeteering it. And then there's another Little Shop photo, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
There's me and my Audrey. There's a reason I started doing stand-up after doing theater in Chicago for a while. Can you do the offensive picture, maybe? If you know what that is?
I think they know which one that is.
Yeah, so after a while of doing theater in Chicago, I was getting called in to do parts like this. And it wasn't super interesting to me anymore. And so I started doing stand-up as an outlet to write and perform parts, a part of me that felt authentic and interesting. And then that slowly became the most interesting part of my life. And weirdly, because I was so enmeshed in the Chicago theater scene, I didn't do comedy clubs. I opened for plays at Steppenwolf.
Oh my God.
Doing like 10 minutes of stand-up before their comedies. And that was like those were my earliest stand-up gigs, was at the Steppenwolf Theater in Chicago.
Were they good audiences, or was it?
Yeah,
they
were fantastic. They were fantastic. No, the community was on board, baby. And they have been ever since.
Well, Joel, as we wrap this thing, tell people where they can find you. And
yeah, you can find me. I'm on I Hate Joel Kim on Instagram, and that's like the only one that I use to promote shit. I have a podcast called Bad Dates. I'm on a show called Loot on Apple TV Plus that stars Maya Rudolph. We're filming our third season currently, and and I have a movie called Fire Island that is still streaming on Hulu.
Yeah, it's a shame, well, I guess a shame, but my girlfriend could not be here tonight.
Yeah, it's tough. My fiance couldn't be here tonight either, actually.
Well, can I be honest with you? I don't really mind. Because there's a princess I've been wooing who's here in the audience.
I'm also in an open relationship. And there's somebody in the audience I'm wooing as well. But it's not going super well.
Me neither. It's confusing. I wonder to myself, did I abuse her or show her disdain? Why does she run from me? If I should lose her, how shall I regain the heart she has won from me? Agony beyond power of speech, when the one thing you want is the only thing out of your reach.
High in her tower, she sits by the hour, maintaining her hair. Blithe and bewitching and frequently humming a light-hearted air. Agony, far more painful than yours. When you know she would go with you, if there only were doors.
Agony, oh the torture they teach.
What's as intriguing
or half so fatiguing
as what's out of reach?
Am I I'm not sensitive, clever, well-mannered, considerate, passionate, charming, as kind as I'm handsome, and heir to a throne.
You are everything maidens could wish for.
Then why no?
Do I know?
The girl must be mad.
You know nothing of madness till you're climbing her hair and you end up there and you're wearing her.
Agony, misery, oh, it's different for each. Always 10 steps behind,
Always 10 feet below.
and she's just out of reach. Agony that can cut like a knife. I must have her to Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Kim Booster, Pete White on the piano. My name is Gianmarco Soresi. Thank you for going to Theater Adult.